Welcome to your fitness routine. We're gonna go and start out with some stretching moves, stuff that you can do every day to kind of help open up the hips, make yourself stronger. And then we're gonna move into the workouts. With the stretching routines, you wanna just be doing each move 10, 12 times with good breath. With the workout routines, you can either do each move 2 to 4 times and then move on to the next one, or do the first 2 moves and then the last 2 moves. So you would do move 1 and move 2, do that 2 to 4 times, and then move 3 and 4 and do that 2 to 4 times. So before stretching, I recommend getting your heart rate up a bit, whether that's just going for a little bit of a walk. I personally like just taking the kettlebell and doing some single arm swings and doing this for about a minute to 2 minutes, nice and lightweight, but just getting that heart rate up and running. So we start out with our elephant walk. This is for our hamstrings. We want to hinge over, get that feeling in the hamstrings, legs nice and straight, as bent over as we can, getting as deep as we can, and then you want to do 15 presses on one side, on the other side. From there, we move into the world's greatest stretch. We get into a runner's stance, leg next to my arm. I extend my back leg, sinking my hips down into the floor, and then with this opposite hand, I inhale, exhale. As I exhale, I want to feel my abdominals and my pelvic floor clench. And I want to feel that tension in my spine with the rotation. So I inhale and exhale, squeezing in the hips. Do that 5-10 times each side. After that, for our quads and even more so with our hip flexors, we come to the floor here. We take our leg up, and then we just want to be bringing our foot up and getting a nice extension through the quad by driving our hip forward. And then finally, for a thoracic extension, we want to come to a chair or some kind of object. We get our elbows on, and then we're exhaling down. And working on opening up our thoracic spine. This will help with posture and with being able to get your lats nice and long, which will make all your strength stuff a lot better. For your chest is already pretty open and wide, but you can also just go to a door frame and just hang and expand it that way. Let's get into the workouts. Okay, so set 1, we have first and foremost bear crawls. We come here on all fours, up, and then we're walking forward, walking backward. After that, and with that, it's kind of a thing of feel. You want to go for as long as you can, or set like, hey, like I want to do 5 back and forth, I want to do 10 back and forth. Whatever feels good. You just want to make sure that your shoulders are cinched up and in good positioning as you're crawling. Then we move into single arm swings with a switch. So we come here, bell, nice and light. We pull in, up, boom, boom. There's 2 ways of doing this. We could focus on a knee dip, but for the single arm swings, what I like doing is I like focusing on a hip back, letting the weight really get that swing going, and then using my hip to really drive that energy forward. From there, we move into kettlebell swings. We start on our tall triangle. We sit down. I pull in, up, boom, boom. You want to be keeping a dollar bill underneath your armpit. And with this one, I prefer using a bit of a knee drop for the dual swing. With this, nice big weights. And then after that, we just move into bent over rows. We come here, pulling in and down. In and down. You can also do this by attaching an anchor point to the low door, taking a rubber band and doing a similar motion. Workout 1. For number 2, we need an anchor point up in the door first. Come around, and we're just going to do banded pull downs. We want to make sure that we're keeping our chest up, getting nice and low, pulling down, extending up, pulling down and out, and extending up. From the front or from the back, it looks like this. Boom, 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 boom. After that, we take our red band around our ankles or around our knees. We take our light band. With these, you can just test and see which bands are going to be appropriate. I'm just using the lightest ones for right now. So we open up our arms, keeping that tension in, press out our knees, and then I'm squatting down, raising my arms out, and then coming back up. Down and up. Down. After that, we're going to do a banded pull over, where I come here. This one, you're probably going to want to use one of the heavier bands. But we anchor the band to our hips, step forward so we have some tension, and then I'm leaning back, squeezing through. Leaning back, squeezing through. Boom. Boom. With this one, really focus on that squeeze and tension, not just in the butt, but also in the core and abdominis. And then after that, we do very simple face pulls. I use the light band for this most of the time. I get my thumbs through the holes, and then what I'm doing is I'm pulling back to a box shape and then forward. Box and forward. From the back, what looks like this: full extension, full contraction, full extension, full contraction. On to number 3. Number 3. We come to the floor, we get our legs up, engaging our core, and then we're just doing a press with the kettlebell. Maintaining good structure on the core. Getting that nice press with the bell. After that, we take one of our bands, we get it around our ankles. Remember, you just want to see which one is going to give you a good burn, nice and efficiently. We want to get up onto our toes, and then we do 2 steps to the right, 2 steps to the left. From there, we do walkouts. Walking out, you can put in a push-up if you like, and then walk back. Walk out. Walk back. You want to make sure those hand motions are not really big. They're just nice, about a hand's width each time you walk. And then from there, we're going to do split squats. You can either do this holding the bell like so. We come here, make sure our feet are lined up with our hips. Our knees come down to 90 degrees, and then I press up through. So, ways of holding the bell: holding it on one side. You can also hold it in front rack. I would recommend whatever side you're holding the weight on. I know I just did it wrong, but whatever side you're holding the weight on, have the opposite foot forward. Coming down and up. Make sure you're squeezing both quads at the top. Boom. Boom, or boom. Boom. Number 4. Okay, we start out with a banded cross, making an X. Cross our chest. I've been using the black band for this one, but you just want to make sure that you're able to keep your arms straight, get the full extension, and get back to contraction. Full extension, full contraction. You should be able to pause at the top and then get back down. From there, we grab our kettlebell. We do a squat press. So I'm here. I'm going to get nice and low. Overhead press. Nice and low. overhead press. If you can keep your torso upright, get all the way down to the floor, and then press up. Go for it, but not necessary. Getting to 90 degrees at this point is totally fine. From there, we do a single leg Romanian deadlift with weight. Yeah. From there, we do a single leg Romanian deadlift. I'm going to show you first just the move itself. I get slight bend in the knee. Sometimes people will take a foam roller or something so they keep a straight line here. And then we hinge until the hamstring fires, keeping this hip locked in, and then back. It doesn't matter how deep you go, because what you're feeling for is the extension in the hamstring. So if you get to here, and that's as deep as it's going, then return. This leg in the back doesn't need to be straight, it's just there for balance. Ways to add to this one are then taking the kettlebell, hinging and up, and then if you can, hinge, pull, return. That's going to put a lot of energy into your low back. It might be a little sore. And so if that's like tweaking it, then don't worry about it. Just focus on the RDLs. But if you can, get the hinge and the row. It's a really solid move. From there, we move into cleans. For your clean, what we're doing is we're taking the bell, flat bar across our shins, and then I'm punching it up into my arm, up into my front rack. Now to do that and practice it, what we first do is we stand up and we bring our elbow back. Boom. This will help prep us for the punch. And then we do the full motion punch right up through. You'll see that my arm comes back each time, making the bell as straight of a line as possible up into the front rack. Do that on both sides. 8 to 10 on one side, well 8 to 12 on one side, 8 to 12 on the other side. Boom. Whew. On to number 5. Hey, welcome back for number 5. Super exciting. So, for number 5, we're going to start out with a runner's calf raise. So, with this one, we're working on your legs' strength and stability, especially through the quad and calf. So, you never want to let your heel touch the floor. We come back, and then I'm pressing up with my knee and driving onto my toe. Down, up, down, up. Boom, 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 boom. So from this angle, you see my heel isn't touching. I'm getting that nice deep squat, like basically 90 degrees, driving up onto that leg. From there, we're going to do Cossack squats with the kettlebell. So we want to hold it upside down. And then the basic of the Cossack squat is I bend at one knee, feet nice and low. I sit back, I come up. I sit back, I come up. To add to this, what we can do is as I come down and up, I halo the bell around my body. And then what you can do is as you come down, we halo while in the Cossack squat. Cossack squats are also great because you can work on depth. So you can get nice and low and up, nice and low and up, and even down. Halo, up, down, halo, up. After that, we get our bell up. You want this guy pretty heavy for this. And then what we're doing is we're doing a kettlebell march. So I exhale, creating tension here, both in my abdominis, cinching in my shoulders, creating like holding in a P here. Exhale, maintaining that structure in the abdominals. And doing 10 to 20 on one side, 10 to 20 on the other side, depending on how heavy this is. If this is like super heavy, stick with your low numbers. And then finally, we have ourselves the Palloff press. This is to help build anti-rotation. This is going to help a lot with dancing and stability work. I mean, all this is going to help with the dancing. But what we do is we get tension into the band, and then the move can be done in several ways. For us and our purposes, I just want to be working on exhaling, creating that tension, pulling in the pelvis, keeping your shoulders together. I want to be hinged over. I want to be in control of the band. Inhaling and bringing it back in. And then do that on both sides. And bam, that's all the routines. That's all of them. Thanks for watching. Oh yeah, bonus round. Coming here and just talking about getting into good squat form. So you can get yourself 6 inches in front of a wall. And then what we want to be doing is we want to be working on our ability to come down and back up, maintaining that structure in the back. And you'll hear my knees popping probably over the audio. Now, if I come forward, I'm not like here coming down. That's not how the hips work. I get them a little bit more than hip width apart. You'll find where it's comfortable for you. And then you want to come down. And then see if you can get your feet in a bit closer. Make sure everything's nice and set up. And there's a lot of benefit to coming here. You can also use a counterweight. And just sitting in this position. It helps with the knees. Helps with your spine. Getting everything nice and settled. You can come here and do stretches. But all this is about making sure your knees are in good alignment at full extension, and then your strength ability to go boom. Whew. And sometimes I'll be sitting like this. I'll just get a few pumps in and just really work on that structure of my knees, doing what they're designed to do, making sure they're tracking properly. Okay, that's the full routine. Hope you enjoy it. We'll catch you next time. Peace. All right.